We're live here on the western banks of Galilee, where reports have just come in that a Nazarene rabbi named Jesus has fed over 20,000 people with just 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. That's right, folks. Hard to believe. Over 20,000 men, women, and children. Fact or fiction? Miracle or myth? You decide as we see what some local eyewitnesses here on the scene have to say.
Dude, this is the best meal I've had in a couple months. I mean, the food just keeps coming, dude. I mean, they started collecting all the baskets of the stuff that people hadn't eaten. They had like 13 baskets left over. I was like, dude, give me one of those baskets, man. I'm still hungry over here. I got 8 kids at home to feed.
I see. Well, what did you think of the rabbi's message?
There was a message? I guess I didn't hear it. My stomach must have been growling so loud I just didn't hear it. Kind of hard to concentrate on an empty stomach.
Well, do you plan to come back to hear the rabbi tomorrow?
Hey man, as long as he keeps handing out the free grub, I'm his #1 fan! Well, fish and bread might be fine and dandy for all those seafood-loving vegetarians out there, but some of us are meat and potatoes guy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what's the point in feeding everybody if people don't get the type of food they like? I mean, I like fish, but salmon, I would have rather had like a nice sea bass or maybe a trout. And this barley's a bit on the dry side. Now, pumpernickel, there's a bread you can sink your teeth into.
You know, I just honestly can't understand why people don't plan ahead. I mean, what were they thinking? They come all the way out from the city in the middle of nowhere and they don't bother to pack any food? I mean, hello, McFly, anyone home? When I woke up this morning, I packed my family some figs, some roasted almonds, some grapes, some noodles, and 6 canteens of water. I wanted to be prepared if this Jesus fellow preached on and on for hours like some of these preachers can.
Well, when you heard they were needing food, did you offer to share yours?
Are you kidding? Give up our food just because a bunch of slackers forgot to bring some for their own? Surely you jest. I mean, if brains were dynamite, these people wouldn't have enough to blow their nose. Honestly, I think they're a bunch of stupid sheep. I don't understand why Jesus even bothers with them. If it had been up to me, I would have let them starve.
Well, I thought the menu selection was somewhat limited. However, I had the salmon a la bisque with a hint of mustard and honey sauce, accompanied by a seasoned barley loaf flavored with hickory and garlic. I recommend it with a white Zinfandel flavored with a garnish of mint or julep. I give this dining experience a 4 out of 5 stars. So, did you like the meal Jesus provided?
Oh, yes, it was very tasty, yes. You know, I didn't realize that there was going to be a magic show for entertainment before dinner being served, though.
A magic show?
Oh, yeah. This Jesus fella, he reaches into his sack lunch, mumbles some magic words, and presto! All this food starts coming out of it. Woo! I've never seen anything like it before in my entire life. It's like pulling one of them rabbits out of a hat, or, you know, the balls and cups. I just love the balls and cups, you know. It's a pretty good trick, though. I wonder if he had that food up his sleeve.
You think Jesus had food for over 20,000 people up his sleeve?
Well, it's possible, isn't it? I mean, maybe it was done with mirrors, I don't know, or maybe it's that sleight of hand, you know, while you wave your hand up here and while you're looking at, you know, Jesus reaches in his pocket and pulls out all that food, you know. I mean, I don't know how the trick was done. If I knew it, he wouldn't be a very good magician now, would he?
Excuse me, sir, what do you think of all this that happened?
Well, to tell you the truth, I think it was the most life-changing experience of my entire life.
What do you mean?
Well, like most of the people around here, I was getting kind of hungry, and I heard the rabbi's men asking around if anybody had food. From the looks of it, not many people had. I know I didn't bring any. So I was this close to getting up to leave to head home, and all of a sudden I see this boy. Couldn't have been more than 8 or 9. Anyway, he had a sack lunch that his mom had packed him that morning, just some fish, a couple loaves of bread, but he said he was willing to share if he wanted it. Tell you, it broke my heart to see this little kid offer to give up his lunch just because dummies like me forgot to bring food. Well, wouldn't you know it, the rabbi looks at him, looks at what he's brought, and he gets the biggest smile on his face. Just so happy. He takes the lunch and blesses it and starts handing it out. And the food just kept coming. It was the most amazing thing I ever saw. I mean, I had heard about these so-called miracles of Jesus, but I figured they were just a bunch of tall tales, stories made up by these fanatical disciples. But man, let me tell you, I was there. I saw it happen. It was real. And it got me to thinking, if this Jesus could do so much with so little, just 2 scraggly looking fish and 5 loaves of crusty bread, imagine what he could do with something more valuable. Imagine what he could do with something more than fish and bread, like a person, a life. Imagine what he could do with someone who would fully devote his life to Jesus. Imagine what he could do with me.